Wilder Show podcast. I'm Scott. That's Lauren.
Yes, it is.
Oh, how you doing today, Lauren?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay today. The Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, sometimes on the TikTok. On Instagram is Wilder Show Pod. Email is podcast@wildershow.com. Or you can just engage us wherever you find us. The platform, thumbs up, little comment. We appreciate that. It's good for the algorithm. So wherever you get your podcasts, would you like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share?
We want to build a healthy algorithm.
That's right. And we really appreciate that. We have had several coincidences in our lives separately.
Yes.
And we have another one that we'll tell at some future date.
Yes.
But I shared a story last time about that whole thing about the radio station, and had that guy not been fired because he did this thing, I would not have been hired. And had that not happened, think how much less rich your life would have been.
I know.
Because we would never have met. And I thought of that this week because right after we did that, I saw something on Facebook. And I don't do lots of Facebook things on. I don't share. I don't do comments very much. But it's a guy that I know was a longtime Oak Cliff guy.
Yeah.
And a bit older than me. And I think the way we first became connected is that he went to South Oak Cliff High School when my parents were teachers at South Oak Cliff High School.
Okay.
So when every now and then I'll see something he wrote and I'll maybe comment on it. Well, he wrote something like right after we had done the podcast last time, and he named a math teacher from ago times, I think 1960 or before, in the 50s. And that math teacher had just died, 97 years old, had just died.
That's a good run.
Yeah. And this guy that passed away had been a principal at an elementary school in Dallas.
Okay.
So he had taught at South Oak Cliff High School in ago times in the 50s. And then he became a school principal sometime after that. And the school was a school that my dad also, after he was a teacher at South Oak Cliff High School, had also been the principal of. So I sent a note and just said, hey, that's crazy. I said, my dad was also at South Oak Cliff at that same time as a teacher and then later became a principal of that school.
Right.
The guy writes me back and says, your mother was once the prettiest teacher in all of South Oak Cliff High School.
That's so sweet.
And he said, and your dad was very kind to students, even those who did not care very much about history. And so I would not have kept the thread going on and on. But I said, oh, that's so nice of you to say. I said, thank you. It's great to hear things like that about your parents. I said, actually, my parents met in February of 1955, teaching high school at South Oak Cliff High School. And it only happened because the previous typing teacher, she kind of had a nervous breakdown.
Was it because she was a typing teacher?
Maybe. But
was it because the kids were so terrible? I can't imagine that could be the case.
I don't know.
It was 1955.
Right. But she had a nervous breakdown. And
so sad.
They had to hire somebody else to replace her. And that was my mother. And my mom and dad met in February 1955, teaching at South Oak Cliff High School, were married in November of 1955. So had it not been for,
just like I almost said his name. Yeah.
I did too. I was just like, oh. But had it not been for this woman who had a nervous breakdown, and my mom who had graduated high school at 16, and was obviously a very then young teacher.
Oh, yeah.
Just, days older than some of the students. Anyway, I just thought it was a really small world and not a bad little story time.
This really has nothing to do with that. It's just another first day of school for a very young teacher story. My middle son had an English teacher when he was, I think he was a sophomore in high school. The teacher had been the salutatorian at that school only 3 years before. Graduated in 3 years, comes back. First day of school, she fainted 3 times. Fainted 3 times during that school day.
Terrible.
She has lived to tell the tale. She is still a fine teacher all these years later. But yeah, I mean that's the stuff of That's something I would have done.
Yeah, for sure.
The next day she came in and she had a helmet on. She wore like a bike helmet just to sort of make fun of herself.
That's
you know,
funny.
if I fall today and hit my head, nobody has to worry about me. But yeah.
We have to talk about the war. There's war stuff to talk about. There's election stuff to talk about. Also a little bit of WNBA news to talk about. You know, I'm not a big WNBA fan.
I've not really heard you talk about it.
Or I haven't been, but I'm kind of getting to be.
Oh, yeah?
A WNBA fan. We'll talk a little bit about that. It's in the news, the WNBA, for something. And a couple of jackassery things right before we go to scatter shoot, where everyone can exhale and enjoy sanity. Let's talk a little bit about the big election. Abdul El Sayed won in Michigan. He was outspent 11-1. Can you imagine that?
It's a lot of money to put into something that you don't win.
He was outspent 11-1, with much of that money coming from foreign influence, I guess you could say, for his opponent. Not really foreign money, but there are ways around that kind of stuff. Anyway, he still won, and he does not consider himself to be a DSA, Democratic Socialist of America. But it's hard.
Do other people consider him that, though?
Sort of, yeah. Because, you know, you can't spend a lot of time with Hassan Pike and not be considered maybe a DSA. But he is, this is sort of the bigger thing for me. Something to watch. I heard a phrase this week I had not heard before. It's not being shared widely, but I think you're going to find that it will be over time. They're calling candidates like him and others the emerging crescent left. I say crescent left. What does that mean? You know, and when you're overseas, let's say there's a disaster and you have like the Red Cross. It's Red Cross here. Yeah. For a long time, it was Red Cross everywhere. But then they found that the cross doesn't play in other parts of the world.
The symbol.
The symbol. So the crescent is what they do in the Muslim world.
Sure.
So it's Red Crescent there. Red Cross here, Red Crescent there. The emerging crescent left. So that would be Muslim or Muslim-friendly political left. Might be DSA. Might be just progressive. But it's certainly, no matter where else it falls under that umbrella, is Muslim-friendly. Think about Memdani. He's a DSA.
Yeah.
And also this guy, Abdul El Sayed in Michigan, not DSA. But both considered to be part of the crescent left. Watch for more about the rise of the crescent left.
But if I think crescent left, isn't that almost kind of like an oxymoron when you think of certain social issues?
No, it's great. That's a great point. Absolutely. I mean, the Muslim or the Islam perspective on certain things. Yeah. For example, homosexuality, gay marriage, that kind of stuff. They're not very friendly at all to it. So that's a really good point. We'll see if that sticks, the crescent left, because that doesn't make sense, does it? Yeah.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, that's a great point. But this whole thing really is, I think, not bad news for the rest of us. I don't think it's bad news for the conservative side. In fact, as I was watching, and I did watch, man, did I watch those results. Michigan is notorious for being late, very, very late. In fact, the election was not called until 8 o'clock the next morning. I mean, when they stopped the coverage, Detroit or Wayne County was only still at like 62% of the vote was in. Wow. And that was at the end of the day. So they didn't know the results until the next morning. But when I was watching the coverage, I was thinking, I don't care if he wins. I don't care if he wins. In fact, I want him to win. Because,
why do you say that?
Well, because I think that it's easier to run in a general election against someone that is extreme. If you have someone who's extreme, there are two kinds of impact that an extreme candidate, and this is extreme candidate on either side, an extreme candidate can have on what would be his or her own voting block. One is there's such a turnoff. Well, I'm not going to vote for a DSA candidate. Right. So I'm not going to vote. So I might even vote for the other candidate. That's one impact. The other impact is just that it dispirits your base. Get out the vote is a big deal. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to vote for the other side, but I'm just not going to do anything. I'm not going to vote this time. I'm going to lay out. Yeah. I'm going to vote for a third party. So I like the fact anything that is disruptive, anything that is disruptive to the Democrat Party, I think is okay. Anything that disrupts the other side, because frankly, I think we run the risk of being beaten. I think anybody who overlooks the power of DSA or overlooks the power of Tallarico in Texas, you do that at your potential peril. I would not overlook those people. You do, and they're going to run right past you. I really believe that. So it's a long line of conversation where we've opined that the left overreaches, that they don't get it.
Yeah.
And I don't like the extremes from either side being the candidates. I think that's a bad idea. But if for example, you're in a sort of a purple state, in a purple state, if you had a Republican candidate who you want to win the primary in a purple state is someone who's a little bit centrist as a Republican. And you say, well, why would you want someone who's not, radically conservative on all issues? Because they're probably not going to win in that purple state.
Yeah.
And in the same way, in Texas, and of course it was Jasmine Crockett or Tallarico. So maybe either case would have been a problem. But you run somebody that is not a centrist Democrat, and Tallarico is not a centrist Democrat, it's the greatest, as we said before, it's the greatest thing could have happened to Ken Paxton, because Ken Paxton has a better chance of beating Tallarico or any Democrat candidate if they are more extreme. So that's what I mean when I say they don't get it, because they don't seem to put, it's not strategic. They don't put the right kind of candidates that have the greatest chance to win. Those candidates that are the most extreme may make a lot of noise, but you may either dispirit your base, because your base here in the flyover country is not like it is in New York or some other places, Detroit. There's a reason why, by the way, they've called Dearborn Dearbornistan.
Right.
It's like the highest concentration of Muslims in the world outside of Saudi Arabia. So it may not play here the way it plays there. That radical stuff might play there, but it doesn't necessarily play here. The war, weapons stockpile. You've seen this, right?
I have.
Well, this is my risk strategy, as you know, the board game Risk. It works. Just ask Russia and China. There are sources that tell Reuters this week that virtually all of the Army's crucial surface-to-surface weapons have now been utilized. Analysts say these weapons, which cost over $1 million each, could be important, you think, could be important in any conflict with China. It's a report from the Center for Strategic and International Studies, and it released in late July. And it found that while the military had 2,330 Patriot systems and 452 what's called THAAD, or Terminal High Altitude Area Defense Systems, that was before the war. So the numbers were 2,330 Patriot systems before the war, and now it has not 2,330. It has 759.
Wow.
And how many THAADs do we have left? The Terminal High Altitude Area Defense Systems started before the war at 452. Now they say we have somewhere between 234 and 278 left.
That's a drop.
So the question is, how long does it take to, make that back? There are estimates that it would take, if we stopped right now, we don't expend a single other Patriot missile or THAAD or anything else, it would take 3 years to build back to the level where we were before the war. So the question should always be, is it worth it? And what if, like the now famous Scott Wilder board game Risk strategy, what if our enemies just let us fight it out with each other? I mean, they stand by and wait. And
sure.
They know that as soon as that number gets down to whatever,
they can do whatever they want.
Away you go. We're not going to talk much about this, but there's a new flu shot. It's designed for people that are 50 years or older. It is an mRNA flu shot. Now, not all flu shots are mRNA flu shots, but just you might want to know. And people have said if you're older and you don't have to wait for the next 3 or 4 months to get your flu shot, you can get your flu shot now or soon. But if that matters to you, you'll want to ask, is this a standard flu shot or is it an mRNA flu shot? So I'm not telling you what you should do, just telling you they are different.
What makes it better for someone over the age of 50?
It's designed for adults 50 to 65 and 65 and up. It's from Moderna, and it's been approved now, I think as of yesterday, been approved for those two age groups. So it's called mFlusiva.
Okay.
There's a little M and then Flusiva from Moderna. In one late-stage trial, mFlusiva was found to be 27% more effective than a standard flu shot. One of the reasons is they say that, that other way involves eggs and all kinds of things. You put the active thing and then you got to wait. And because of that, it takes longer.
Yeah.
And so they do believe that since this is not done that way, you can wait longer into the flu season to develop it, the vaccine, which makes it more likely to be responsive to whatever is that particular strain of the flu. So that's what they're saying.
Okay. You get flu shots?
Every now and then. I don't get them all the time. I used to get them. I don't get them. But you get them?
I do.
Every time.
I don't think I've maybe missed 1 year in the last.
Really?
Well, there were some COVID years when I didn't, I guess. It used to, when I was working in an office for a while, somebody would come, a nurse would come there as a part of the, the part of the health plan there, and you could get your flu shot.
That was easy.
Yeah, and I think we used to get them at church for a while too, and that made it quite easy, and it was sort of like, why not?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, yeah.
Do you get the, or have you gotten the shingles?
I have not yet,
right,
and I know you're big on that.
I am an ambassador for everyone, even the people that I hate, to every, no, it's not you, I'm talking about the other people. Not the other people I hate. You understand? Everyone should get a shingles vaccine. I saw an ad the other day. Some African-American woman, she said, I was 60. I thought I was immune. She said, it felt like a cougar had attacked me.
No.
Look, I'm just telling you the truth. And this may sound like an exaggeration, but I'm telling you the truth. It can make you lose your mind. It can make you lose your mind. It is so painful. And it doesn't stop. I mean, mine lasted, I think, 6 to 8 weeks. For 6 to 8 weeks, I was in incredible pain every minute of every day, including all the time that I was asleep. I told you my friend whose wife got it, and she said, and she had given birth to her children natural birth. She said this was far worse, far more painful
I'm going to make my
natural
appointment.
childbirth. I'm telling you, man, please, everybody get the shingles vaccine. I promise anyone who's had it, you know exactly what I'm saying. You know that what I'm telling you is true. So, do that. And maybe I'll get a flu shot this year. What does the W stand for in WNBA?
Women's.
Women? What is a woman? There is a Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve got into Stephen A. Smith's, that is.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith's crosshairs. And it had to do with the T-shirt she wore on courtside when she was taking on a really, really popular team. Now, let me just pause and say, I've never been a big fan of girls or women's basketball.
You're not anti. You're just not really into it.
It's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I have limited capacity to be a fan, and it's just that hadn't crossed the threshold for me. But I will tell you this: any sport has a greater chance of being successful if it has big personalities.
Sure.
If you look at some of the people that were tennis stars, McEnroe, Connors, Bjorn Borg, Navratilova, Chrissy, all those, right? Ilya Nastasi. Okay, all of those. So sometimes those rivalries are big. Well, and every now and then there's a little dust up that happens. What is the thing they say about you go to a fight and a hockey match broke out?
That's exactly right.
There have been a lot of fisticuffs or elbows, really, in women's basketball recently. And Sophie Cunningham, who plays for the Fever, she plays on with Caitlin, what's her name? Caitlin Clark. So she and Caitlin Clark, and it'd be crazy not to make the point. Part of the reason why they're getting a lot of attention is not just because they're good at basketball. They happen to not look like a lot of other people that are playing women's basketball. Like Tiger Woods didn't look like a lot of other people that were playing golf at the time. So the fact that these two girls are white and are doing very well in that world has gotten them some attention they might otherwise not have gotten. Well, Sophie Cunningham, she has come out pretty strong for no men in women's sports.
Mm-hmm.
Even Martina Navratilova said, oh, she's not anti-women. That is the most pro-woman position she could take. Well, this coach for the Minnesota Lynx, Cheryl Reeve, she wore a T-shirt on the sidelines, not sidelines, the court side, because it was the first matchup between her team and this very popular team, the Indiana Fever. Indiana Fever is probably one of the most popular teams right now.
Because they have Caitlin Clark.
And
doesn't hurt.
They got Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah.
Both of them. Anyway, so she's wearing a T-shirt, and the T-shirt says, "Trans kids belong." Which I can agree with if you'll finish the sentence. What's the end of that sentence? Trans kids belong. Finish it. And I'm sort of kidding. And that outraged Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
Because for one thing, he talked about, this is a coincidence. This is the game you happen to be wearing that shirt. It's a game that has the most people watching it. You're trying to make a point against Sophie Cunningham anyway.
I kind of wonder a little bit why it was such a big deal in that, I was going to say arena. I don't mean literally that arena. I mean, figuratively in that situation. If she was talking about, I could see if it was something that pertained specifically to that sport. But the fact that it was directed at kids, it seems a little more ambiguous than maybe she might have even wanted to be if she was really trying to get that kind of attention there.
I don't understand. If you're a coach in the Women's National Basketball Association, any woman that wants to make sure that the only people participating in that are women should be your friend. But all this stuff has gotten so politically out of control that so many people on the left want to use access to people through sports or music or whatever for their purposes. This is a platform. We have free speech. They never feel that way if the free speech is coming from the other side. So when Sophie Cunningham comes out and says what really, frankly, is the majority position, no men in women's sports, she becomes the enemy.
Yeah.
I think she has, everybody wants to have just a little bit of social media cred.
Yeah.
And she maximized the opportunity for that audience. But Sophie Cunningham was interviewed afterwards, and she said, "Look, I want to play basketball." I was asked that several months ago, and that's what she's responding to. So a couple of months ago, Sophie Cunningham was asked the question. She responded to it honestly. It's not a position that the coach of the Minnesota Lynx agrees with. And so she holds on to this for two or 3 months, and then I'm going to wear this T-shirt when I'm there in front of Sophie. Okay, whatever. And Sophie Cunningham says, "Look, I think she said, I respect everybody's position. You have the right to hold whatever position. I was asked that 2 months ago. That's what I believe. And let's move on." But I'll tell you, she's becoming sort of a hero. Sophie Cunningham is to the right because she does not back down. She's had plenty of pressure to back down. She hasn't done it. So all that to say, has me a little more interested in the WNBA these days, at least for the Indiana Fever.
You're there for the drama.
I am indeed. In fact, I think they're playing. They're playing our Dallas.
The Wings?
Pretty soon.
Oh,
That'd be kind of fun to go to. All right, a little jackassery before we get to scattershoot. Okay, I mentioned that I stayed up late the other night to watch the results at the midterm election. I mean, the primary there in Michigan. It was Democrats and Republicans too, but the big thing was obviously what we've already talked about. And so I was up late, and I mean late. I was well after midnight, and it was Tuesday night and a Wednesday morning. And I thought, you know what? I remember there's something big coming up at 1:35 Central Time a.m. on Wednesday.
Okay.
So I just stayed up because it was that thing with the space junk, that rocket with SpaceX. It's an 88,000-pound part of a rocket. It's like the size of a school bus.
Wow.
And it's going to slam into the moon at 45,000 miles an hour and create a brand new crater on the moon.
It's crazy.
That was all going to happen.
Yeah.
And the way it works is most of the space junk, it's floating around out there, it's pulled back toward the Earth. The Earth's gravity pulls it back. And then it burns up in the atmosphere, and we never see it. I mean, just whatever those bad things are, it Yeah, because it just stays up in the atmosphere, but it never makes it all the way to the Earth. But there was some tug between the gravity of the moon and the gravity of the Earth. And so for like 14 months, this thing has been floating around, going around the Earth at 17,000 miles an hour. And finally it broke free and was going toward the moon. It will hit the moon at 2:35 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, whatever that was.
To know that there are people who can figure these things out. And I know that they're using very complicated computer systems but so much, it's kind of ridiculous to even to say something like this. Something like this seems so presumptuous. There's so much of my brain that I'm not using.
That's true. That's true.
To suggest that if I used a little bit more of my brain, I could get to something like that, that's the part that's presumptuous. But I know, even if that's not the case, there's just so much of my brain that's going unused.
Well, see, sometimes I use some of my brain, then I get made fun of. For example, I had a little marketing idea that this whole thing about this thing crashing into the moon.
Yeah.
A long time ago. I think I told you about it.
Yeah.
I thought about.
Wait, remind me?
I thought about it.
I don't have my journal with me where I keep track
of all of
your brilliant marketing ideas.
Well, it was it was about. I know we talked about it, about how we could take, like, let's say someone dies, and you have their cremains, and my idea was to fire them into the moon.
Okay.
So that your loved one would forever be, right there
in the moon.
Yep, in the moon. So everybody, all your loved ones would be right there every night, and it didn't get any, traction in the venture capitalist community. They were otherwise engaged.
I'm shocked.
But I thought that would have been I think there's still something there. If we're going to put stuff at the moon, you charge people for that. And hey, there's my dad's up there.
Yeah.
See, I say up there, but there really is no up and down.
We've talked about this before.
There is no up and down.
Yeah.
There is no up. There is no down. There's only toward the Earth and away from the Earth.
I get a little bit
it's true though.
Tired even just hearing this conversation starting again.
Well, yeah, but it really is true.
Yeah.
There is no up or down in space. It's only toward the center of the Earth or back toward the Earth or away from the Earth. There's no up or down. There's no top or bottom. It's just toward or away.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, hold on to something, because something's going to happen. Something's going to happen, we're told. I saw it on the internet, so it's got to be true.
It's got to be true.
On August 12th, which is next Wednesday, August 12th at exactly 8:33 in the morning.
Okay.
Now,
that's Central Time?
It is.
Okay.
8:33 Central Time. I would say this. Find something to hold on to.
Something that's tethered to the earth.
Yes.
Not just anything,
yes,
right?
It's very important. I hope you will take
like
this
tree
I hope you will take this in the tongue-in-cheek spirit in which it is offered, and I'm not misquoted on this as to intent. The Earth will lose gravity for 7 seconds at 8:33 a.m. Central Time next Wednesday, August the 12th, and whatever is not attached to the Earth is going to go up in the air for 7 seconds, and then it is going to come back down.
How fast?
So,
like if I'm not holding on to a tree or a light pole, how fast?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Although I guess if I'm in my house, I'd stopped by my ceiling.
Yeah, you stop the ceiling. So you can stay in your house and just go up to the ceiling and then come back down. But if you tied yourself to the bed or a chair, it's going up.
It's going up.
So the best thing is to go outside and away from traffic and chain yourself to a tree.
I'm not doing
Tether
this.
yourself to a tree.
Can you not just hold on to it?
I don't know. I don't know how powerful it's going to be. Lauren, we've never gone through this before, where we've lost gravity. And so who knows? Who knows this? And this is all because of Project Anchor. Okay. It was a leaked memo from NASA. Mm-hmm. It was a secret $89 billion initiative called Project Anchor, trying to get America and everyone ready for the 7-second loss of gravity caused by colliding black holes, which are going to happen. Again, let's just all be ready. I would have told you on the next podcast, but that would have given you like just one day to find the right tree.
Yeah, you need to have a plan for this.
This is so silly. And I got to tell you, this is I never bought the Y2K thing. You know that. I never bought that.
I was there. I do know that.
I mean, not 1 second did I buy it. And I watched even Christian authors write books and make tons of money on people's fear for that kind of thing. Now, at the very end of it's like a cult. It's like a conspiracy type thing. At the very end of that time, somebody can say, well, the reason it didn't happen is because we caused a ruckus and all this stuff then was done to prepare. It's like, no, we were told we were past the moment, the tipping.
We couldn't fix it anymore.
Yeah.
We couldn't. There wasn't enough time to prepare in all the ways that we needed to prepare.
And I always said, so on January 1st, 2000, I'm going to do the same thing I do every January 1st of every year. I'm going to order pizza, and they'll be able to cook it because they'll have electricity. They're going to be able to drive their cars because their cars work, and they'll be able to put gas in it. And I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch TV, and the TVs will work because we'll have electricity. The games will be played on January 1st. I'm not going to be drinking water from a big blue 55-gallon barrel and lentils cooked over a fire in my backyard, but enjoy.
Yeah.
So this is the same thing, obviously. It's not going to happen. You don't lose gravity. It's not going to happen. But, it doesn't stop people from, in the same way, people put this stuff on social media and they get lots of traffic. And a lot of traffic, if you monetize your site, is really no different from the Christian or otherwise authors writing books about how to prepare for the end or preparing for Y2K.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still going to find something to hold on to, though, just in case. Oh, it is time for Scattershoot.
Let's go.
Wilder Show Scattershoot. All right.
I know you're a big fan of the TikTok.
It's funny. I'll watch it every now and then. But the weird thing is, seriously, there was a thing where I was watching it for a while, and then it was like 3 or 4 weeks. I didn't even look at it.
Yeah,
I don't have a need to engage or to consume. Every now and then I will.
You watch a lot of GRMW hashtag GRMW.
Okay, I know what this means. It means
videos.
It means get ready with me or something like that.
Yeah.
And people put on, boys do it too.
I was surprised to know that. I thought this was a girl largely thing. A female phenomenon.
Just to be clear, the boys that do it are also putting on makeup.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
it is not, it's not to say the boys are doing it. I mean, nobody's going, hey, these are my boots. And I
bet somebody
Luke.
is.
No, they're not. Believe me. Lucases, you gotta love long socks with your Lucases.
I think you should never say never.
Here's my pearl snap.
Just got to get on the right algorithm.
No, believe me. No, it's no.
Well,
there's some people that will never do that, and I think I know the ones that will never do it.
Okay.
But yeah,
Never's
some guy.
A long time, Scott.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's usually girls, sometimes guys who do a thing where we're all supposed to sit there and watch them. I don't ever do it, but I just know what it is. To watch them get ready. They're putting on their makeup. They all have the same hairband on. They're doing the little moisturizer thing, telling what they're doing their day, or telling a story, or it's so ridiculous. It is so. I think it actually. I know this sounds like crazy, but it's really dangerous.
Well,
it really is dangerous.
Tell me how you really feel about it. Yeah,
I think it is because it feeds a crazy narcissism in us that it's not like writing. Here's what it's like. People used to keep a diary, right? Or you keep a journal.
Yeah.
And you keep a journal because it's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
But think how
it's
good
not. It's your thoughts that you're sharing only with the journal. You're not sharing them with the world. Think
of how much better the world would be if the world could benefit from your thoughts.
From my thoughts.
About every single thing. Mm-hmm. And it feeds this self-love, this narcissism that is going to kill us all.
Yeah.
And the AI just feeds it back and back and back. Big echo chamber. Anyway, the getting ready with me, that's what that means.
Yeah.
G, whatever it is. Get ready with me.
GRWM. Yeah. Hashtag GRWM. Yeah. Well, it spurred interest in something else too, something that is coming back from a go times. I've been going through a lot of pictures and things in my house from when the kids were little, and I came across a picture of this giant, kind of gaudy plastic vanity that my daughter had in her room. It's like, imagine a desk only with a mirror, and it's not for studying.
Okay, we put on makeup or to get ready and doing your hair or whatever. Oh,
exactly.
got it. Yeah, I got it. I know what
I
that
had
is.
totally forgotten. I don't think, maybe it was a hand-me-down from somebody, but I don't remember even having it in the house. There was no child in the picture. It was probably a picture that one of my kids took, probably my daughter, with the camera because she was so excited about this vanity in her room. I'd completely forgotten we'd ever had it. But apparently, vanities are the new in thing. Not just not for young women, not necessarily only for women even my age, but little girls. Little girls want vanities.
Is it because of the?
It is.
Are you kidding me? It's because of the Get Ready With Me.
Of these videos.
That's crazy. I will say this about the vanity. I do remember as a kid, I do remember watching my mom get ready, maybe for church or to go out or something.
Yeah.
Watching her there at the vanity. She had a vanity.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was sort of a cool.
My grandmother had
memory.
A vanity.
Yeah,
that we still have. I think somewhere. I think my sister has it. Yeah. But and I'm, I get wanting to have a special place for that kind of thing. And as I've gotten older, I especially like I like a lighted makeup mirror.
There you go. Sure, yeah.
I like a lighted magnifying makeup mirror.
Got it.
Ladies of a certain age, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's your best friend in some ways, and it's your worst enemy in other ways. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Sure. But I don't have a vanity. I don't have a place to sit down where I do that kind of thing. But yeah, just the fact that these were back in style was a surprise to me. You can get them anywhere. IKEA makes them for, and then there's the thing that I was looking at, talked about a little girl who was pestering her parents about getting one. And she knew she wanted the kind of the ring light on the mirror. She's too young for makeup. So she sits at her vanity and she is allowed to put on lip gloss sometimes. Okay. And she makes her own, she pretends, I mean, she doesn't have a phone, but she pretends that she's making these videos. She's obviously seeing them somewhere. It's
got to be her mom, right?
I guess so. Or maybe she has an older sister or something like that. I don't know.
Gracious.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't, I think it does seem kind of dangerous, doesn't it?
I think it is. I think all those things that lead to you're the center of the universe.
Yeah.
Everything's about me. It's about me and my hair and my makeup and my troubles and my recovery and my journey.
Well, and just so much focus on what we look like at such a young age that's where your real value comes from. I don't like that.
I like the idea of the vanity though. Not vanity. I like the idea of the piece of furniture. If a girl or a woman wants to sit there, but it's the filming of everything.
Yeah.
It's like, the word vomit of every single thing you think. It's just, I can't, it's too much.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of fascinated with the way, if you've lived long enough as we have now, even in my own neighborhood, when you remember, that building used to be this, and then before this, it was that. And you kind of have a history, not just of your town, but sort of how the marketplace went, has progressed.
Blockbuster is now something else.
Exactly, exactly. So many, many years ago, I remember the first time Barnes & Noble sort of became ubiquitous almost. When we got our coffee there. We got our Starbucks coffee there. We shopped for our books there. I would take my kids to story time there. And then the bookstores started kind of drying up.
That was the Amazon.
Of Amazon, yes. Right. Other ways to get those things and not pay full price and to have them delivered directly to your door. Even when Barnes & Noble, I think, started doing delivery there, sort of kind of maybe as a last gasp. They just couldn't make it work, and all the Barnes & Nobles closed. And now, all of a sudden, the Party Cities are closing. Party Cities are closing
Why
everywhere. I guess because you can get all that stuff on Amazon. I mean, you always could. I don't know. The Party City in my neighborhood had been there.
So Party City's going away, and they're putting a bookstore in there?
In quite a few of them.
Really?
Now, that was not, I have a new Barnes & Noble in my area. It was not a Party City. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was a Dress Barn before, or something like that many years ago in the strip center where it is now. But the Party Cities, and I do remember the Party City in my area that closed had been there for more than 30 years because I remember taking my very young kids there to buy Halloween costumes.
Sure.
So and that was before you could buy anything on the internet. So I would imagine that as we got more and more comfortable doing those things, I mean, can you imagine now? The Party City has only been closed for like a year or so, and already the idea of what was a giant, practically a big box store that had nothing but Halloween costumes and paper plates and piñatas and balloons. I mean, I don't remember the last time I'd been in one. And like I said, mine has been closed for probably 2 years or so. It's becoming a Barnes & Noble. So all the Barnes & Nobles that closed 10 or 15 years ago, they're making a comeback. And I don't understand why. It's not like people are buying from Amazon any less than they used to be. I was really excited when the Barnes & Noble opened in my neighborhood, but I don't think I've been in there more than 1 or 2 times.
I'd be really curious to know the different neighborhoods that they're opening, where they're opening these.
Well,
that there is a certain psychographic description of the people there. I think there is something to be said for, in some communities, I think businesses want to be like their third place. Like we want to be a sort of, don't, come here and just sit and read forever, or we're going to have a special like adult reading room or adult reading circle or whatever. And you can come and you can sit and have your coffee and spend your day and free Wi-Fi and all these things. I don't know. I don't know how long that's going to last, though.
Well, get this. So the article that got my attention, the piece that got my attention about this, where this particular Barnes & Noble is opening in the place of a Party City, is it Comac, New York? Have you ever heard of Comac, New York? Okay. It's about 54 miles east of Manhattan.
Okay.
So this new Barnes & Noble is opening only 2 miles away from a Barnes & Noble that closed in 2024. There's
got to be something there. There's some kind of angle that has nothing to do with the sales of books. The selling of books is not the driver. There's something else.
They have records and magazines, 2 other things that kind of seem like they've all but gone the way of the dinosaur. Lots of gifty kinds of things too. I get the appeal of not ordering something online, actually being able to go and hold it in your hands and see it and, make the decision.
But they don't care. But they don't carry everything. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. I remember walking into a place I was looking for. It was at Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
I was looking for a G.K. Chesterton book. I was looking for another copy of Orthodoxy, the Romance of Faith. So I go in there and I look through the thing and it's not there. And then I go to the person at the little island there in the middle.
Yeah.
And, let me look it up. And they look it up and they say, yeah, we don't carry that. We can order it for us. Like, dude, I'm going to the parking lot and order it.
Yeah.
I just never understood. Once Amazon got in there, so that's why I was saying it's got to be something else. It's got to be some other reason why that it's making. And I don't mean, well, it's maybe it's also magazines or maybe it's also records or CDs. I don't mean that. There's some other business reason that makes it make sense.
Maybe there are
in a
more,
way that I couldn't understand.
You've never really been a shopper.
Never.
You don't like to walk into a place not knowing what you want and look at a bunch of different things and then make your determination.
Yeah. The only thing I would say is that it doesn't mean that I don't grab stuff at the point of purchase on the way out. I might do that, but I don't go, you know what? I think I'm just going to go and walk around a bookstore for a while
and see what I might like to read next.
Or I got some time to kill. I'm going to go walk around for a while.
Yeah.
I've told you before, the only place I would do that maybe is a hardware store or an electronics store. In the old days, we had electronics stores. Well, maybe walk around and see the new things. But now, not even electronics store, probably still hardware store. I go to Elliott's. I like to go to Elliott's. I was looking for, there's a brand new seasoning that I'm looking for barbecue. They didn't have it. They didn't ask me if they could order it for me. I mean, I immediately could go to the parking lot and order it for myself. But I still do that. But no, generally I'm not a shopper. I walk into the closest door to the product I want. I buy it, walk to the, grab it, go to the closest place to pay and get out. That's me, but that's me.
Well, Commack, New York is not the only place that's getting new Barnes & Noble. The company announced last December that they plan to open approximately 60 new locations by the end of this year. And Texas is on the list of states that are getting new Barnes & Noble. New York, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Ohio, Virginia, Washington State, and Washington, D.C. And then this little tidbit that they threw in at the end, this really got me. Barnes & Noble sparked controversy this spring after it confirmed that they said it should be more than 800 locations could stock books written by AI, and they disclosed that as a part of their new clarity policy.
But that's a positive. I mean,
I think it's terrible.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, here's the weird thing: you're going to have some of these books that are written by AI, but I can't go in there and find a certain book that I want by somebody else.
Well,
this is here's the deal.
They can't have everything.
But you know what? You know what? This really may be. When I said there's got to be some of the reason.
Yeah.
This may be that kind of reason that they're going to carry a bunch of stuff that gets viral, and everybody has to have it. Right?
Yeah.
They just crank out all these sort of things. And hey, we've got it. We'll wait and see. We'll watch and see what they advertise. If they may every now and then advertise a thing, like maybe not Tom Clancy, but something like that. But it'll be really interesting to see, what do they advertise? What are they doing to draw people in? What do they have that I can't get somewhere else? And I probably can't get maybe some of those AI written things at another bookstore. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you really want to be conspiracy theory, if they have a whole thing getting ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just accepting some things that are AI written. We're creating them. We're going to create them, have an outlet for them, make them go viral. We're going to promote them. We're going to sell them. And we become, what do they call that? It's a linear marketing. You create it, you own it. You own the place where you sell it.
Yeah.
You sell it. You profit from it. That's all. They own the whole thing. I don't know that.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some other reason that now all of a sudden we're gonna go back to the bookstores.
That's enough to make me not want to go, though.
Well, let's wait and see. Maybe probably just the way you and so many other people have always loved it.
Well, I say that's enough to make me not want to go.
You'll go.
I'm sure there are. It's
Just
not
the other
that.
stuff.
I think there are plenty of things like that already.
Yeah.
AI generated novels on Amazon, and I'm still buying things on Amazon.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I think it's going to be fine. But I think I'm trying to see why Amazon does it, because there's so many different. You could virtually buy anything, anywhere, created anywhere on Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, almost anything. But you have limited shelf space in these places.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be a reason. You're deciding what to carry, what not to carry. And everybody's going to know what so maybe on the table it's going to be the top 20 bestsellers, right? Or whatever. And you hit the clearance table over here for the ones that are no longer in that. But in the vast majority, what is it going to be? You're going to have all the stuff you normally have. But I wouldn't be surprised if they move toward this kind of thing, which I don't think is very good, but there's got to be a way that they're going to make money that all of a sudden has come out of the way. What is different? What is different? Actually, people are probably reading less than they used to read. They're buying fewer books than they used to buy. We don't read magazines anymore. Some of the magazines don't even exist anymore.
Right.
And so what is it that is different between the time they closed all those and today? AI is here.
That's true.
AI is different.
You might have cracked the code.
We'll find out. I probably didn't, but maybe.
There's a new proposal in Nashville that would ban drivers from turning right on red. It's only in the city. It's not in the suburbs. As you can imagine, a lot of people are upset about this. The proposal was in response to a number of traffic fatalities, pedestrian fatalities this year in Nashville since the beginning of 2026.
Did they happen at right turn on red intersections?
I don't know if that's it is not clear that is the only reason or the only situation out of which these fatalities happen. But this is one of the things that they've proposed to cut down on that. Okay. And a lot of people are not really happy about that because they said it's going to slow them down. They're already hurrying to their next destination. And if you make me not be able to turn at the red light, you're just, you're slowing my roll. You're getting in the way of my busy schedule.
First of all, not every intersection can you turn right on red. Not every one.
Right.
Some of them say you can't for whatever reason. You can't see over the hill to the left or whatever it is. And it hasn't always been the case that you could turn right on red.
I kind of remember when that happened.
Yeah, me too.
I wasn't old enough to drive yet, but I remember when it happened.
And you can also turn left on red. Did you know that?
Where?
You can turn left on red if you're going from a one-way to a one-way right to left.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
might have known it when I took my driver's test.
Yeah, you can go left on red, but only if it's one way to one way, which makes sense because the whole point with right on red is you're the rightmost.
Sure.
And can then go to the right and go to the rightmost. Same thing if you're going leftmost. But yeah, that's interesting. First of all, everybody just leave earlier. Don't rush.
Yeah.
Don't speed to work.
You make that sound so easy. But
honestly, it is. I promise you. The other day I was driving in here and, I was running a little behind in what I wanted to. But it's like, okay, I'm not going to, people running, rushing past me and going fast and all this kind of stuff. It's like, dude, really, seriously. And I would even, I'm not, I'm such a cooperative person on the road, unlike in real life. But very cooperative. It's like peace at all costs.
Yeah.
Just peace, brother. Come on in.
Well,
to bring two in. Yeah, everybody going back and forth, and you want to get up there. Okay, it's okay. Go. Yeah, you get ahead of me. It's okay. I don't care. Everybody just take it easy. Nobody is dying to see you as much as you think. They can wait.
Well, 20 pedestrians have been killed while crossing the street in Nashville so far this year. 20, yeah.
Dang. 20 is way.
Does
20.
That seem, that's a lot.
That's about one every 10 days, right?
Yeah, I guess
one every
so.
10 days.
That's a lot.
But if you're gonna use it to deal with the right on red, and it seems like you'd have to have that tied to some right on red. I will say, I've been before at a red light and I'm about to turn right, and there have been people on that crosswalk about to go.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful. It's as a driver, you have to be very careful because people, they're not thinking. And increasingly, people don't know the rules of the road. Two people arrive at the same intersection at the same time with a four-way stop. It's like nobody's going to move for eternity. Everybody stands there like who's supposed to go. There are rules for that.
Of course.
But nobody knows what the rules are. Anyway, but 20 in a year, or 20 so far this year, it's about one every 10 days.
That seems like a lot to me.
I think it does.
And this is just one measure. This is just a start. This is one of the things that they have planned to try to tackle this. So the bill still has to go through a public hearing and a couple of, long process before it could even go for a vote. If it's passed, though, it would go into effect in 5 months. And I was reading this and I looked at the comments to see what people, what people were saying. And somebody from California said, we have lots of places in California you can't make a right turn on a red light. Everybody ignores it. Everybody ignores it, and the police ignore the ignoring of the breaking of that law. And the reason for that is, this commenter said, everyone knows that moving traffic is safer than traffic that stops and starts. That got me thinking about, you remember that Freakonomics thing about traffic circles? I just thought that was fascinating. I even went back and listened
the roundabouts.
To the roundabouts.
Yeah.
That's that whole same theory, that moving traffic, if traffic never stops, it's safer. Everybody gets to where they're going a lot more efficiently, which read that as quickly. If you want, fewer accidents, and apparently everybody's really happy and it's all rainbows and sunshine if you have lots of roundabouts.
I think in California, it's not because of that. That's not the reason why. It's because people out in California, they don't care about the law. They really don't. They care about the law, and the people that break the law. It's like I'm just going to go anyway. And the police don't arrest people because people get away with stuff out there.
You think more there than in other places?
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, first of all, there was a We're talking about stealing less than $1,000 worth of stuff from a retail place.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm saying, there's a mentality out there of, what are you going to do? Look, we had a car broken into in California.
We did.
And the police officer that came out said, "Welcome to California."
Yeah. Well, and if you'll remember.
It was like he was saying, this is just what happens. This is what it is out here.
This is just a Tuesday.
Well, I mean, I'm from, pardon me, but I'm from the great state of Texas, and I find this ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I hadn't even thought about that, about California, but you're right. I hate to think that it is just
lawlessness, and then people that don't, then the law isn't enforcing the law because the people above them don't allow them to do their job. I promise a little jackassery, so I know you don't want me to disappoint people.
I
Lauren.
don't.
Remember the talent agency for animals that I came up with? The talent agency for animals, and I wanted to have a pithy sort of title for the talent agency.
Yeah, something about pause.
Dramatic pause. Dramatic pause.
Yeah.
And then I came up over the weekend with a spinoff. It is less commitment on the part of the animal because sometimes, you want more control for your career.
Yeah, yeah.
This one is for birds.
Okay.
But they are still in control of all of their own auditions and jobs.
This is a niche.
Yeah. So the other one was dramatic pause.
Yeah.
This is independent clause. So, one more. The president always wants to leave his mark on things, right? Mm-hmm. He's like the art or this or that or the other. I thought before he leaves, what if he just declares, we have the Gulf of America, right?
Right.
He just said, we're going to call it the Gulf of America. Boom. It's on maps now.
Oh, yeah.
As the Gulf of America.
It was changed immediately.
So what if he just picked one state and just changed the name of the state? It could be like Trump-lahoma. Or if you wanted to go wide, he could. He wanted to go.
Suggest he's listening, but don't give him any ideas.
Or if he wanted to go wide, he could just do the whole thing and call it Trumplandia. All right, that is the Wilder Show podcast, such as it is there as we end it together. Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time, or before on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, on the TikTok now and again, on Instagram as Wilder Show Pod. Email is podcast@wildershow.com, or just engage us wherever you find us on those platforms, right? You do a thumbs up, do a comment. We really appreciate that. It helps with the algorithm. So wherever you get your podcast, would you please just like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. And we thank you. And Lauren, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.